You ever heard the legend?
The Legend of Blake Major's channel? No, I don't think so.
I have. It's pretty scary. The legend is Blake Major's channel likes to go to Camp Crystal Lake. There's a lot of stories that come from that camp. But I think it all starts here. Hey Blake, you know how far away it is from Camp Crystal Lake?
Both Camp Crystal Lake and Blake's channel are about 20 seconds that way. Let's go.
What is up, my maniacs? I'm the Awesome Maniac, and I'm joined once again on my channel by this fucking dude who's way older than me but still likes me for some reason, Michael White Jr.
What is up, folks? I am Michael White Jr. Also, you may know me as the man behind the masks. I do Jason masks, of course, but I am honored again to be on this channel. So, Blake, thank you. I appreciate it.
Good having you. This is actually the second time. Yeah, this is the second individual video that you and me have done together.
Yes, sir. I think, what was the other one? The Jason mask rankings?
Yeah.
Good video.
That's like one of my best videos, like best performing videos.
Please check out that video if you guys have not.
It's a fun video.
Me and Blake had a blast coordinating that video. That was probably one of my first videos I actually really had fun on YouTube, so thank you, sir.
Well, the goal for me is to have fun on YouTube, so
Yeah, that's everyone's goal.
yeah. What you may ask what we're doing today, and judging by what's behind me, yeah, you can see that. Okay, we are going to be doing a re-review of the original Friday the 13th. I say re-review because the first, other than a vlog, the first video on my channel is a review of Friday the 13th, and it is so bad. I am out of frame. I am cutting off my sentences. I didn't know the editing that I know today, and I've been wanting to do re-review them just so people can watch this one instead of that one, but people probably still watch that one because it's like my third best performing video, and well, I just want to, for myself, make amends on that.
Well, if you guys ever seen my first video, please don't watch it.
Watch all of his videos.
No, Blake, I would just to add on to that, dude. I mean, you got to start somewhere, man, and you know, everybody starts somewhere, and usually their first videos are normally not the best. And dude, we're here right now, so I don't know how you put out a lot of content. I know that. You're really dedicated to your editing, your studies of the films that you do. You're way more dedicated to me than any film. I enjoy the film. I like knowing facts about the film, but man, you dig deep. You find the type of dirt that was used in a Jason scene. Like I give you props, man. I wish I had the time to dedicate to really know what goes deep into these films, and you know that, and you've taught me a shit ton that I didn't know, and I'm like, damn, I'm not old, but I'm old. Not that old. I'm still a kid at heart. I'm gonna be 34 next year, so I'm not that old, but I thought I knew a lot before I met you, met the Stream Warriors, met you, met Devin, Jay, Bradley, Justin, everybody. I thought I knew more by myself, and then I finally met a group of buddies that like I can actually sit here and talk to with, and I'm like, I don't know shit. Basically, because I never had a group of friends that actually enjoyed it as much as I do, and then I was like, God, there's so much more to learn.
There's always a lot more to learn, and I think the word he's looking for, folks, is obsessed.
Yes, you are obsessed.
So I took notes. You took notes.
I took some notes, but I've seen this movie. This this movie's very. I mean, you know, me and you love Friday the 13th. I know Friday the 13th as Jason hockey mask. That's my thing. But this movie is almost set. It's almost by itself, standalone, in a way, in a way. But this is the holy grail.
Well, I mean, it's the original. It's the one that kicked it off, and it's the 40th anniversary.
Yep, it is going to be the 40th, and god damn, that's amazing, dude. That this movie is still going strong. This whole series is still. They got to get that lawsuit settled, man.
I think there's more interest in it now than there ever was with the fan films and the game and all that.
Oh yeah,
And this new box set that just came out.
100%.
Like, and, you know, it had to start somewhere, so we're going all the way back to May 6th or May 9th, 1980. Whenever, I think that it was one of those two when it was released. I'm thinking it's the 9th.
I think,
And
yeah,
we're talking about Friday the 13th.
the OG.
So, what's the first note that you have?
The first note I have is the POV shots. The POV shots in this movie, I think it's like one of the first movies that actually did that in a way to the suspense factor, to the horror scene. I believe that when I watched this movie, the first thing when I go back to when I was little, the first time I saw this movie, I didn't know who the killer was until the way end. Like the POV shots, like, and then the reactions on the actors, and it just made you feel like, holy shit, you're getting chased the whole movie. And
Whenever people, whenever even like Sean Cunningham and them were talking about let's rip off Halloween, I think it's very evident with the POV shots. Like that's something Carpenter did really well with the original Halloween, and I thought they actually, I don't think they did it bad, but I thought it was fine how they did the POVs, like especially how they played the music when the killer was near.
Yeah. I don't think they did it bad. And yes, 100% Halloween, you know, set the bar for every film after it. But in Halloween, the POV shots were just almost like staring, like it was lurking in the background. Like you were, but this time you're actually seeing the POV shots of like the person running, like when Annie in the beginning when she's running through the forest, and when she's in the Jeep, like you don't know who it is, so it's like, who is she talking to? What's going on here? And then also she just jumps out of the Jeep, and then all of a sudden you just got this fear. The fear on Annie's face in that scene is amazing. But the best POV shot is the beginning opening scene.
Yeah,
With the two kids and they're fooling around.
Paul Barry and Claudette.
That to me is like, you know, when I was a kid and I had my girlfriend over or something, and like, oh shit, my parents are home. Like, oh no, what are we gonna do? It's like, but that scene there, like, why is this person doing this? And then like you don't really find out later in the movie why that's happening.
You don't know anything. All you know is like 1958. These two kids, Barry and Claudette, are just being killed.
And then my next note, obviously, is the music and the score and the opening. When that lady, when the girl freeze frames, and then it cuts to the black screen, and then the Friday the 13th emblem comes up. It's like, damn, you're invested. You're already invested within 3 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, that's one thing I really don't like about like these first her first two movies was how it like cut to white, and then or how they just cut off the kills sometimes. Like as soon as someone gets killed, there's no time to do anything else because it literally cuts to the next scene with the scream still playing, and people talking. Yeah. That's one thing I do not like about like 1 and 2, is that. But the first time with Claudette, I thought that was used very well because it went straight to the credits.
Yeah, I will agree that the white flash is a little weird. It would have almost been cool if they kind of like did like like they did the freeze frame and then like flashed it to red or had like blood come down, or then the title card comes. But like that, it just, you gotta think, dude. It's 1980. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have shit to do, but like this, and this film did not have a lot of money.
I think they made this on 100 or 500,000.
Yep. And
That's
I don't want to jump the gun, but one of the main characters, she did it for, I think, to buy a new car because she needed a new car. And
I think it was Annie.
no, Pamela,
Oh, Betsy.
Betsy Palmer.
And you know what? Just yesterday was actually her birthday.
Was rest in peace, Betsy Palmer, the mother of all mothers.
How appropriate that we're doing it this time too. I didn't even realize.
Yep. But yeah, I've done research. I love Betsy Palmer. Like, she is one of my favorites, and so I've done research on her, and I know that when she first read the script, she said, "What the hell is this? Like, hell no!"
What a piece of shit.
That's exactly what she said. Yes, what a piece of shit. And then she started realizing, like, she's like, well, I do need a new car. So she literally did the movie to buy a car, and I want to say her total investment, like her contract, was like $10,000. Because like realistically, I don't think she filmed the POV shots. Obviously, I think she did the most. All she did was the ending.
Yeah, the last 15 minutes.
So you think about it, she reads the script, she doesn't come in till the end. She does maybe 10 to 15 minutes of
Her
actual.
character with only 10 to 15 minutes, she left like the impact on that movie.
So I just think it's funny that she said what a piece of shit, but then she's like, fuck it, I'll do it. Because I need a new car.
Even Cunningham didn't expect it to do as good as it did. Like, he had just made like a few soccer, I think it was a hockey movie, like a little like kids sports movie. He's like, oh well, that didn't do well. I need something to bounce back. Hey, let's do a horror movie. Let's rip off Halloween. Cunningham did not expect it to blow up like it did.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Halloween. I will put that down as my favorite Halloween movie or horror movie of all time. But my favorite character is Jason in the Friday the 13th series.
Yeah.
I will say, I believe, truthfully, my opinion only, I believe that the first Friday the 13th captured more suspense in the way it was filmed, where it was filmed. I felt invested in the film when I first watched it. Like, Halloween, like, everyone, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Halloween at all. But you watched it recently, I watched it this morning. I was just like, you know what, the way it's filmed is perfect. It's suspenseful, it's cheesy, you feel like you're there and you feel like you should be at camp.
It was like a straight to DVD thing, or straight to VHS back then.
That was probably beta.
But it ended up dethroning Empire Strikes Back at the box office. So
it did.
4 months in a row sold out. You know why? Because critics hated it and kids wanted to see it because critics hated it.
I'm sorry, but Cisco and Ebert and whoever does the fucking...
They were very wrong on that one.
They can eat my asshole. Because...
Can I?
Oh, whoa. Whoa. Yes, anytime. But they're... I never liked listening to them because they were so wrong in many ways. They were so subject to their old time movies. They were older guys. They don't understand how to reflect to the younger crowd. They don't know how to reflect to the horror crowd. They don't know how to reflect to the comedy crowd. Like, just because these two jackasses said this movie sucks does not mean it fucking sucks. I mean, look at how many people that do reviews online now. But everyone that does reviews online now, either it's not publicly put on cable for you to be manipulated and say, okay, this movie sucks.
And then, like, there's a lot of people that like watching those that would just like listen to them. The parents wouldn't like it, but the kids wanted to do it because the parents didn't like it.
And this is what is awesome about YouTube now, because so many people and so many views and the way people look at a movie, it might reflect on somebody else now because there's so many reviews on a movie. Yes, it might be overdone, but every single one is different, and somebody might have something that will intrigue somebody to say, "Oh my God, I gotta go watch it again."
And that's what the reason why like I wanted to like start doing like horror movie reviews and new stuff on my channel, because I do have a lot of different opinions on a lot of different movies. Fuck Jason Takes Manhattan, and
fuck you.
See, I like it or I hate it. You like it. And it's just
I like it because
even whenever I did my Friday the 13th Part 7 review, I remember really liking that movie, but going back and watching it with my new eyes, I was like, there's a lot of things wrong with this. Like,
dude,
too many.
No, I 100% agree with you. That movie is fucked. It's fucked to beyond. They fucked that movie up so bad. But the reason why I love it is because it was one of the first movies that I really enjoyed as a kid.
The same here. I loved it as a kid. It was my favorite, actually.
Yeah, and it's one of my best, I think the best looking Jasons that there is.
But just using it as an example, like, I know like there's a lot of people that like 7, and there's a lot of people that really don't, and then there's like, I was looking at it with my new eyes, and I wanted to like it more than I did, but I didn't. But let's get back to the first one. I thought, okay, here come the hot takes.
Uh-oh.
The first movie is boring.
See, I will disagree with you.
I know you would, but let me finish with this little thought. I think it's boring because there's just a lot of, even for a horror movie, there's just a lot of filler, and not really good filler. Like, I like Alice, and I like her friend that got shot with the arrows.
Yep.
I like those two characters, but the rest I just can't connect with. Not even young Kevin Bacon. And if I'm not in like invested in characters, then it's a lot harder for me to pay actually pay attention to the movie. But I did for my reviews, and I did it for taking the notes for this.
All right. Are you done?
Yeah, with that part.
All right. So back to where you say you couldn't get almost invested. I can understand where you're coming from totally. For me, it's hard to like. This was one of the first movies I ever saw when I was a kid, after Halloween. So this is one of the scariest movies I ever saw when I was a kid. So I have a special place, and like, you know, everyone has a different feeling for a movie. This movie will always go down as one of my top 5, I think, out of all genres. I enjoyed the suspense. The characters, yes, I totally agree. They seem fake at some point. But
Well, maybe not, just boring. Like, they don't really do anything of interest to me. Like, Alice sits there for 5 minutes and makes coffee. Like, I know they were trying to stretch it out for the runtime.
Good you mentioned that, because all right, so when Kevin Bacon and the other two pull up to the camp for the first time,
I think her name is Marcy.
Jack
and Marcy.
Jack and Marcy, and then they like Mr. Christie's there pulling the stump out, and it's just like the dialogue there was just so fucked, because they're like, hey, get over here and help me with this, and then it's like they just pull the stump out, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, you guys can start working, you can get painting, and then like Alice is like, okay, I'll show you where you guys can get changed. And then the next scene is like Mr. Christie walking up, and then she's putting a gutter on. It's like, where did the time go? Because
Where's the in between?
Yes, and it was just like I totally agree that the movie is almost kind of choppy.
The flow, the editing itself, maybe not the best. Like, that was the issue I was having. Part 7 was like the flow, like it was like really slow for like a long time, and then just pick up out of nowhere.
100% right.
Again, talking about part 7. Just go watch my part 7 review instead of me talking about it.
I get that it is. I will agree that it's very slow. I think when people go into this movie nowadays, knowing who Jason is, they don't appreciate it as much. Because when I first saw it, I didn't know who Jason was.
This was one of the last ones I saw. Part 9 and Part 1 were the last ones that I had seen, and maybe that factored into it a little bit. But I like, even in the recent years when I've gone out with like fresh eyes and stuff, I'm like, well, I mean, this still just isn't like tickling my fanny, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it, and I totally understand. A lot of people think that way. But you gotta. In the end of the day, you got to think that this movie started one of the best franchises ever.
I give it all the props that I can give it, especially with the kills.
Now that
Tom Savini is a master.
Tom Savini he is a master. He still is the master, and I wish I could go to school at his. I wish I could go to his school. But I'm very upset that he didn't come back for part 2. Very upset.
I can see why I didn't, though.
I
think he ended up working on the Prowler instead.
Everyone thought this movie was going to be a piece of shit. And
maybe they didn't think it was going to... I don't know if they thought... Betsy certainly thought it was going to be a piece of shit.
Well, they all thought it was going to flop. Let's say that.
My favorite kill in that movie is Marcy getting the axe in the head. Because that looks so good.
Right?
What?
The shower kill?
Yeah.
I literally have that on my notes. It says shower kill. But before that, since we were on Kevin Bacon, the scene where it's her and Kevin Bacon out by the lake and the thunderstorm.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, like that scene just like, I don't know, I really like that scene. I really like when they're both just kind of like chilling there, and then all of a sudden the lightning flashes, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
She's talking about like a nightmare she had or something.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed that scene. I really felt connected to that scene because like,
hey, that's no dream.
Yeah, like I love thunderstorms, so like that scene always really connected to me. But yeah, I have. I think I didn't write too many notes down, but the last note that I have after the shower kill. If you want to talk about the shower kill, you want to talk about that?
Talked about all it looked like incredibly realistic to me.
I just love how like she slides down at the end and like.
And also like how the axe actually hits the lamp, which indicates like the weight. It actually feels like a real axe.
Yep. The last note that I had was not knowing who the killer is the whole time. That was my big thing about this movie. But that was my big thing about the movies. I loved when I first saw it, you was like, who the fuck is the killer? Who is it? But then once you see Betsy, Pamela, you know right away that it's her.
Instantly.
Well, I'm an old friend of the Christies.
Yes. It's like, okay, Betsy, you're the killer.
Yeah.
But
and poor Alice, she just didn't have no one else to turn to.
True. I mean, honestly, if you were in that situation, an old lady in her mid 50s, maybe late 40s, early.
I mean, would you think that she was the killer?
No.
Poor Alice.
Like so going back to that, like, yeah, how could you react to that? Like, walking in and saying, you know, I'm an old friend of the Christies, or like, and then when you go back and find out that it's actually her, and then you go back and actually look at the kills, my favorite one is Mr. Christie when they're in the dark and he just
because he like recognizes her.
Yep. I remember what I was gonna say too. Will you agree with me once you find out who Pam, like once you find out who Jason's mom is and who she is? Can you agree with me that that's some of the best cinematography from once you know her to the ending of the movie?
The last 15 minutes of that movie
nailed it. The last 15.
It makes up like the last 15 by itself like would have been fantastic. if it didn't have all that bloated that came before it.
Yeah, like I understand it. It's very slow. It's very
The fight and everything, I love all that.
but the way it's shot in the last 15 minutes is just what makes that movie.
Kill her, mommy! Kill her, mommy! Kill her! Kill her!
With their Parley Whites.
Yes, those are probably dentures. But yeah, man, I think that sums it up. I mean, I'm pretty much. You're right. The whole movie drags out, but it is such an iconic movie. It's such a suspenseful movie. If you've never seen it, if you're watching it for the first time and don't know anything about Friday the 13th, you're gonna be scared.
And then you get that jump scare.
Yep.
Probably the greatest jump scare in like cinema.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Except maybe the alien killing Dallas in Alien 1. Cause that scared. That got me.
Dude,
But yeah, just like
it took me a long time to actually watch that movie from start to finish because when I was a kid, that movie scared the hell out of me.
yeah, just they wanted to outdo the Carrie's ending, and they really did. That ending, that thing, that's what spawned like the rest of the franchise. Was that?
Yeah.
And it was like originally they weren't even going to do that. It was just going to like end with like her going to the police.
Which one?
Jason jumping out at her.
Oh yeah. I heard Carrie, and I thought you were talking about the bucket of blood.
Oh no, that is one of my favorite horror movies. Top 10.
I love Carrie.
It's the original. But now that we've gotten through the, go ahead.
Let me. I just want to chime in on the ending. It's that scene, like, I don't know, man. It's just so iconic. Like when she chops Betsy's head or Pamela's head off.
Yeah.
Gets into the canoe and like floats off, and that fucking music, dude.
It's so like
it's like
it's
so,
almost dreamlike.
It's then you think like you almost think like, oh my god, is everything a dream? But then they fucking nailed it once Jason jumps out. If Jason doesn't jump out, we don't have Jason. We don't have Friday the 13th.
That's what I was saying. Like this ending spawned the franchise.
It's just crazy to think that because John Carpenter wanted to end Halloween after Halloween 1, and you think if this would have ended after this, I wouldn't have any of these masks on my wall. I would never have any passion towards Friday the 13th. I mean, I still would.
People would still look at hockey masks as hockey masks.
Yep.
Or potato sacks as potato sacks.
I will say, as much as I love Halloween, I believe Friday the 13th has better films in the franchise.
I believe so too. I think that's a topic for another day.
In like the whole span of like Halloween, 78.
Oh, they also cranked out like 1, 2, 8 of them throughout the 80s.
Yeah. So I'm more subject to watching Friday the 13th over Halloween, to be honest. As much as I love Michael Myers, but
Yeah.
Jason's my homeboy.
So anyways, I'm going to thank my good friend Michael White Jr. for joining me for this video. I definitely want to do more in the future.
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait to, do some more reviews and movies and whatever we can think of. I hope everybody had a great Halloween and a wonderful month of October. Again, Blake, thank you for having me on the channel for the second time. And like you said, I hope we can do more, man.
And if you want to see more of this mad bastard, his link to the channel will be in the description below.
Yeah.
So, don't forget to like, share, comment, and if you haven't, subscribe. Bye-bye.